The I-Team made an alarming discovery after spending months investigating the Department of Children and Families.
Nearly half of all child deaths investigated by the agency in Jacksonville involved families already on the radar of child welfare officials. The I-Team analyzed 8 years of records, looking at 227 child deaths in Jacksonville alone. I-Team investigator Lindsay Gardner found that 48% of all children dying in Duval County were in families that have been previously investigated by DCF and its partner locally, a contracted nonprofit. Tonight, Lindsay digs deeper.
The I-Team spent months combing through reports linked to the deaths of hundreds of children in Jacksonville, and we made a startling discovery. On average, nearly 1 out of every 2 children dying are coming from families already previously investigated by DCF. That's right, 48% of all children dying are coming from families that pass through the child welfare system, overseen locally by Lee K-Work, the CEO of the nonprofit Family Support Services.
How do you perceive child welfare here in Northeast Florida compares or stacks up to other organizations across the state?
I think we're one of the best in the state.
Are you confident that case managers here in Jacksonville have enough experience to make these life or death decisions for children?
I'm confident. Well, number one, I think, these aren't, we're not talking about life and death. Once a child is in care.
It's a child's future.
Well, I think once a child's in care, we're confident that the safety of the child is being taken care of.
K-Work has led Family Support Services for 8 years. It's a fully accredited organization that oversees child welfare in Duval and Nassau counties for roughly 1,500 to 2,000 children. But we found they don't oversee any individual cases in Jacksonville. That's because child welfare in Florida is privatized. In Jacksonville, DCF contracts with Family Support Services, and they contract out with 4 more nonprofits to handle the case management for children in troubled homes. Our I-Team research found our 48% of children dying in families already known to DCF here in Jacksonville was a higher percentage than Orlando, higher than Miami, higher than Fort Lauderdale, higher than Tampa, and higher than West Palm Beach.
Your organization, or Jacksonville and Duval County, ranks one of the highest in the state.
I don't know that for a fact, but I'll believe you at the moment. I don't know the detail behind the number.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking you.
So, but I think that in most cases, those are going to be investigations that may never have reached us with Family Support Services.
But we found that's not entirely true. In 2015, DCF began deploying a new oversight team. They're called the Critical Incident Rapid Response Team, and they investigate child fatalities in families that are already known to the state system. The goal, to figure out how to make improvements. We combed through those reports and found in the very first year, Duval County again came up the highest statewide, reporting 6 child deaths that met that criteria. One 6-month-old baby girl's death was sleep-related, but investigators also found issues with high turnover and a lack of available staff. One child protective investigator reported he lacked the experience to handle complex cases, and safety plans were not sufficient. In another case, a 3-month-old baby died while co-sleeping. The family had been called into DCF several times, but investigations lacked, and the region's workforce was inexperienced at all staffing levels, including 57% of child protective investigators having less than 1 year of experience and 80% having less than 2 years experience. The I-Team found in at least 3 of these 6 cases, Family Support Services was involved. They contracted the families out to some of their case management nonprofits. We pressed K-Work further about nearly half of all children dying here belonging to families known to this complex layered system that he oversees.
Hey, that's an alarming number. I'm not going to make short-sighted. That is an alarming number.
How often do you all as an organization take a hard look in the mirror and say, maybe we did wrong by this child? I mean, do your metrics even account for maybe you make a mistake?
I don't go to sleep at night without thinking about the children we have serving. That's our job. Are the systems perfect? It's a child welfare system. We're at the tail end of a lot of the woes of our society.
K-Work told me the bulk of the removals happening right now all across the River City are tied to the growing heroin epidemic that is already scarring our community. For example, drug use used to account for 40% of removals of children, but right now it's accounting for 75 to 80% of children being removed from their homes. In the studio, Lindsay Gardner, Channel 4, the local station.
This afternoon, DCF released a statement regarding our story saying, quote, child safety is the first priority of the Florida Department of Children and Families, and our staff and partners are entrusted with a sacred mission to protect the vulnerable. That statement later reads, quote, every child death, regardless of family situation or the community, is a devastating tragedy. DCF takes every child fatality very seriously and is absolutely committed to reducing preventable child deaths. And